Welcome to our review on nail varnish and testing. First thing we need to know are a few key terms and their meanings. Now, hopefully these are ones that you've encountered way back in year 7, but because obviously that was quite some time ago, we'll go over them just in case. So, a solvent is the liquid that dissolves a substance to form the solution. The solute is the substance that's actually dissolved. Your solution is the mixture of the substance dissolved in liquid, or the solute plus solvent. Soluble is a substance that will dissolve, and insoluble is a substance that will not dissolve. If we think about nail varnish, obviously lots of people like to wear nail varnish to change the colour of their nails and make themselves look a little bit prettier. Now, obviously sometimes you get a little bit bored of the colour of nail varnish you've got and want to get rid of it. What we'll find is if you add water to that, it's not going to do anything. They're designed obviously to stay on your nails even when it gets wet. Otherwise, as soon as you wash your hands, your nail varnish would come off. So what we find is we've got to use something else as a solvent. And what we actually use are esters. So we've mentioned esters when we were looking at perfumes, and they've got a nice smell, and they're also very useful solvents. Now, the reason that the esters work is that they can actually dissolve some substances that are insoluble in water, and it's an ester that we find in our nail varnish remover. Now, obviously working out whether something's going to dissolve or not in a solvent is all dependent on the relative strength of the attractions. And we're looking at the strength of the attractions between the particles of the substance and the solvent molecules, the particles of the substance itself, and the attractions between the solvent molecules themselves. So if we actually find that the particles in the nail varnish and the water molecules are attracted more weakly than the attractions between the independent nail varnish particles, then the solvent's not going to work. So if we actually have a situation where the attractions between the water molecules are weaker than the attraction between the nail varnish and the water molecules, then it's not going to work as a solvent. So the only way that we can actually dissolve our nail varnish is if the force of attraction between the nail varnish and the solvent is stronger than the attractions between the independent nail varnish particles and the attractions between the independent solvent molecules. So as long as the force of attraction is stronger between the nail varnish and the solvent, then it will dissolve. If the force of attraction between the nail varnish and the solvent is weaker than the attractions between the individual nail varnish particles, it will not dissolve. Last thing we really need to understand about our cosmetics is about testing. So we need to actually test cosmetics to ensure that when we use them, they're not going to cause illness or allergic reactions. However, the European Union actually banned animal testing of cosmetics back in 2009. So what manufacturers have to do is use ingredients that had previously been tested on animals so they know they're safe. They could use human volunteers or just avoid using untested ingredients. In the United Kingdom, we can test cosmetics on animals if they've got medicinal properties as well. So because obviously there are big advantages to finding out whether or not medicines work, etc., then they have allowed animal testing in that respect. So if we've got something that does have medicinal properties, then we are allowed to carry out animal testing in the UK, obviously to make sure that there are no dodgy side effects on it.